pulled out a lot of pink for this one. Is it too much pink? I don't know. Anywho, today I am sharing with you my 5 favorite romances of 2023. Now, these aren't going to consist of fantasy or sci-fi monster romances. I have 2 videos coming in the next 2 days that will highlight my 5 favorite of each of those. So these are going to stick to paranormal, dark, contemporary, historical, any other genre besides fantasy or sci-fi. My 5th favorite romance of the year is Wild Scottish Love by Trisha O'Malley. This is a contemporary romance with just a slight paranormal twist to it. This is about a woman who is working as a chef in Boston when she is fed up with the new manager of her restaurant, so she quits. And she gets this opportunity to go to Scotland and become the chef of this castle there. One of her first days there, she ends up meeting this man who owns a brewery, and he is immediately taken with her. But she's trying to focus just on doing her job because she loves cooking and she wants to help this castle thrive. So she's trying to focus on that and not the romance, but he's really hot, so it's hard for her to do. But while she is trying to figure out this new job and her new setup, strange things are happening. Things start disappearing, things start spilling, things like that, and she ends up realizing that she has the helper of a little kitchen brownie. So I listened to this on audio. I really loved the audio narration. It is dual cast narrated. Both of the narrators do an excellent job of inflicting their voice for different characters. I loved the slow build chemistry, more so on her part than his part. His part's pretty insta-lovey, but I love that it took time for him to actually get her to come around to that. I loved the slight paranormal aspects to this with the brownie. There's a unicorn, there's a ghost cow who is so cute. And I also just loved the Scottish setting of this story. So if you are looking for a contemporary romance, just a slight dash of paranormal magic added in, and you want a good audiobook to listen to, check this out. My 4th favorite romance of the year is Nightshade by Carrie Lake. This is a dark gothic paranormal romance. This is about a woman whose father disappeared. He was having some episodes where he was saying these really weird things and talking to her about these really weird things. So when he disappears, she's trying to figure out where he is. And it leads her to Nightshade, which is pretty much purgatory. And she's trying to hunt her father down there. And when she gets there, she ends up meeting this man named Jericho. And there is something about this man that is pulling at her. She doesn't know why she's so drawn to him. Meanwhile, we also get Jericho's perspective, and there's something about this woman as well that he is drawn to, but he can't remember why. And so we're getting flashbacks of his life before he entered purgatory, where he is kind of like the ruler of purgatory. And in these flashbacks, we actually find out that these 2 main characters actually met and fell in love in a previous life. And some bad things happened to her with this religious cult that his father was part of. And so in the here and now, he doesn't really remember who she is, but we as the reader, what the fuck? I gotta go get this. Where was I? I don't know. So we as the reader know that these 2 are connected through a reincarnated life, but the characters themselves don't know it. So this is a book that I had no intention of reading. Somebody convinced me to read it, and I got sucked into this story. I loved the gothic nature of it. I loved the demon and angel aspect of it. I loved the chemistry between the characters. It is a very slow burn tug because they're both trying to figure out why the other person is important to them. So if any of that sparks your interest, dark gothic paranormal romance with some religious cult aspects and reincarnation, highly recommend this. My 3rd favorite romance of the year was Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is a contemporary second chance romance. In this, we are following a married couple who got divorced because of a very tragic moment in their lives. However, they are still part of each other's lives. They work together at the same restaurant. They are co-parenting their children. They are still very much attracted to one another. They think it's time to move on with their lives, but them still being attracted to one another, they find it very difficult to do so. I am not somebody who is the biggest fan of second chance romance. However, I do find that I like them when the couple has been married and it's their second try at it, because it's like watching them fall in love with each other all over again, and they already know like the ins and outs of the other person's personality and stuff like that. So it's sort of like a friends to lovers, I think, is why I enjoy this, because they already know each other. They already know what's going to push each other's buttons. They know what's going to make each other happy. And there's not this getting to know each other stage again. It's just this falling in love stage again. I thought that this couple was very mature in how they handled their relationship. I loved how they handled their children together. There was no animosity there. I think if you are looking for a contemporary romance that will really pull at your emotions, definitely check this one out. My second favorite romance of the year was Painted Scars by Neva Altaj. Really, most of the books in her Perfectly Imperfect series would be included in this. I actually want to thank Ava at Ava's Romance Books for introducing me to this series, because it has become sort of like a very comforting series for me. In this, we are following Roman and Nina. Roman is the head of the mafia, and Nina's father owes Roman a lot of money. And so Roman, he needs himself a wife. So he blackmails Nina's father and says, I will forgive your debts if you give me your daughter. So he does. And Nina, she's like, well, I guess I'm just gonna make the best of this, because like I can't do anything about it. She becomes very attracted to her new husband, and their relationship deepens over time. This being a mafia romance, I actually think it's a cozy mafia romance because it doesn't delve too dark. I love the way that Roman loves Nina. He loves her fiercely. He is like, don't touch my woman. Don't upset my woman. I will do anything to make my woman happy. Roman doesn't stifle her. He still allows her to do the things that she loves. She loves to paint. He is very supportive of her doing that. He brings her paints and shit like that so that she can continue to do this and continue to bring in money of her own. And I really love Nina's character because she's not making this a dramatic thing. She's like, listen, this is my situation. I'm attracted to this guy. I might as well just make the best of it. So if you're looking for a mafia romance that isn't too dark, I think you would really enjoy this series. And my favorite romance of the year is another contemporary with just a dash of the paranormal whimsy in it, and that is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. So in this, we are following this woman named Mika Moon, who is a witch. She lives a very solitary life because in this world, for some reason, witches are solitary beings. They aren't meant to congregate and have like a big coven. So she does these videos on YouTube of just like your basic spell stuff just to entertain people. But one day she gets this job opportunity where these people contact her saying that they need somebody to tutor these young witches. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm not a real witch. And they're like, yes, you are. We know you are. So she shows up there and she meets this group of young witches who don't really know how to deal with their powers yet. She also meets the people who run this mysterious house and the librarian that she ends up forming a relationship with. This was spicier than I thought it was going to be, quite honestly, which I really enjoyed. Not a lot of spice, don't get me wrong, not a lot. Maybe like 2 chili peppers worth of spice in this book. But I didn't think there was going to be any, so for there to be a little bit, I was like, yay! I loved the relationship between Mika and the 3 young witches at this house. I enjoyed seeing their dynamic of not trusting this woman to building up a fondness for her. I really liked that. And it's children like that in books that are like, they kind of make me want to adopt children. Not really, but you know, they kind of give me that feeling for a minute while I'm reading it. I just loved the whole found family aspect of this. I loved the mystery that was included in here. And this was just such a sweet and heartwarming story. So those were my 5 favorite non-fantasy, non-sci-fi, or monster romances of 2023. Let me know down in the comments what has been your favorite romance if you read them. But if you don't, but would like to let me know that you made it to the end of this video, could you just leave me a heart? Just leave me a heart emoji, please. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for one of the last couple episodes of Fave 5 during Bookmas. Bye!